Top of the morning, it's the Date Master, and yes, we're back. We're gonna change up the tone just a little bit. We're gonna talk about the clairvoyant man and how to dictate the outcome, not the future. Now, we're not gonna get into the semantics and all of that, but when you look at outcomes, your outcome is basically the end result, the essence, the very particular, very specific outcome. The future is more so every specific detail. You want this, you want that. You want to be able to dictate outcomes and not the future. So this clairvoyant man, you know, take a look at the definition of clairvoyance. You have a third eye for a reason, but very few will tap into this third eye, your pineal gland. This is a real thing. This is something that some of our most wisest philosophers, scientists, mathematicians had to have in order to dictate how numbers, algebra, geometry will play a role in our future and the structure of civilization. So you have to take a look into that and how it plays into your personal life, your dating life, and your professional life. Being clairvoyant simply means that you're pre-aware of any nuances, any negative outcome, any negative energy that you may come in contact with, and you can pretty much dictate how this will play out. You want to use this and develop this skill and use it in your dating life, use it in your personal life, because by doing so, you're going to alleviate a lot of benign neglect. Because a lot of times we go into things just happy-go-lucky. We don't think about the ramifications of our actions. We just want to get our rocks off and get out. But we don't think about what could possibly happen at the end of this experience. Not this moment, but the experience. Because pleasurable experiences, we tend to be slave to those. We tend to get addicted to the dopamine releases from pleasure and excitement. The clairvoyant man is a very dangerous and underestimated man. He has a gift that you can't teach. You can't really, hey, you need to be clairvoyant. You need to be aware. You need to have foresight. But you can dictate how a lot of these endeavors will take place and how they will pan out. It's kind of like the red flag, noticing what triggers a red flag, what red flags to look at, what red flags to look for in any and every situation that you put yourself in. As you get older as a man, you pretty much only want to put yourself in creme de la creme situations, meaning opportunity for financial growth. If it's going to be excitement, it has to be clean, fun, safe, whatever that looks like to you. Nothing too sketchy. You want to optimize the experience, but you want to make sure that you come out on the other end without any kind of negative consequences, without anything that you're going to regret later. You know, there's a saying that everything that's good to us is bad for us, and I definitely can agree. The world that we live in has placed us in a world of decadence to where we can do, say, be, and tolerate any and everything just because we're quote unquote free. But we know that's not the case. This world of decadence where you can say this, but you can't say that. You can do this, but you can't do that and get caught. They have these picks and chooses of what is offensive. They have picks and chooses of what's acceptable. They have picks of chooses of who they like and when they like them. Just ask R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, and so many other greats that decided to no longer play the game. They decided to no longer play the game. When you look at these artists, for instance, your Jay-Z's, your Michael Jordans, all of these are GOATs. But if you notice, they're still knee deep in the culture. They're still being used for their influence. I want to say Jay-Z it was a meeting with the mayor of New York talking about they're going to, make sure everybody get the jab, or they're going to make sure everybody gets on board. These puppets that reach such a high rank and high financial level, this just does not happen. This does not come without strings attached. That this is why you still see these billionaires still in the limelight, still in the midst of political agenda, still at the brunt end of media propaganda. When you stop playing the game, they're not going to make you 100 millionaires and billionaires and just let you get away. Because if that was the case, ask yourself, what man, let's say black man, for instance, that has reached that billionaire status or $100 million status has said, I'm going to separate from the machine and buy my own land because obviously I'm worth $1 billion or $2 billion or high 100 millions. I should be able to buy a plot of land and cultivate my own society, my own governing, my own rules, my own way of life. Why hasn't any man that has reached such a level done so? These are questions that you must ask. But the clairvoyant man, again, is a man who sees and has vision for his future in almost every endeavor. You're going to walk very light. You're going to walk very strategically. Going here and here just to kick it. Nowadays, when I get out, when I move around, I have an objective. If I'm going here, this is why. If I'm going here, this is why. Isn't it? Man, let's go by this. Let's go. Nah, I can't do that. If I'm going to a place, it's because I have a very specific reason. You know, if it's birthdays, of course, we know we're going to kick it with the fellas. It's the birthday. That's understood. But just meaningless kicking it and going to here and there with no objective, you're going to find yourself wasting a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy, because these places and these behaviors are not making you better. They're not contributing anything positive to your life. So you must preserve your energy and stay in solitude until it's time to come out. And when you come out, you want to come out right. You want to come out when your money's right, when your money's stacking. You want to come out when you're physically peaked. You want to come out on point. You're coming out lackluster, you're not going to get any energy from the women. Your energy is going to be low. You're not going to have the great experience that you think that you're going to have. It's been plenty nights and weekends I went out and, you know, we do the report. Whoever didn't go out with the boys or the clique that weekend or that night, man, what happened at such and such? How was it? It was okay. I mean, we ain't doing it. It was all right. And you hear these stories frequently because you're in these spaces without any objective, and you're in these spaces without the right energy and the right structure. And when I say structure, I mean you got all points covered. You prepared for your evening. You prepared for the ladies that you are looking to attract. You're unprepared. You're just moving and you're just moving around. No plan. It's kind of like you're an idol. You're just letting the wind blow you where it blows you, and you're hoping for the best. When you get this clairvoyance, when you develop yourself and you start looking at within, doing the meditations, studying the world and how it's moving, you will know which places to put yourself in. You will know which situations to put yourself in. Again, this applies for business. This is going to apply for personal dating, etc. Take your development very seriously. Do not play with your development. Do not let anyone hinder your development. If someone's in your way, if you're in the midst of friends or associates and development is not the baseline conversation, again, I've said this before, you need to leave. You need to relocate into a space where development is the topic of discussion. Because without development and without discipline, you're going to live a mediocre life. You're going to get lackluster results. You're going to get bottom shelf. The ones who do the work, the ones who look within and find themselves and create themselves into the man that they want to be, they get the spoils because they were the ones willing to do the sacrifice. They were the ones willing to eat ramen noodles for 2 years, eating Wendy's 4 for 4s for 2 years while their money piled up. The extras, everything counts. I don't care if it's a penny, a dollar, or 1,000 or 100,000. Every penny counts. Do not have a careless mindset where you say that little change doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Always be on point. Always follow through to the T when it comes to your finances and your physical and mental and spiritual development. No shortcuts. No back doors. Because the moment you find yourself cutting corners, you're going to be running in circles. Because you cut the corners off a square, what do you have other than a circle? You have to not have a cut corner mentality. Looking for instant gratification, looking for the instant turnaround. Look for the delayed gratification because it's going to be well worth it and it's going to be much more enjoyable than the instant turnaround and microwave gratification. But this is Date Master, man. I wanted to do a different twist, a different type of, tone. We as men underestimate the power of vision, wisdom, and foresight that we all possess, but we must tap into it. Sometimes we tap into it involuntarily through life experiences. The Most High will put you in situations that will force you to wake up and elevate, because the strongest battles are given to the strongest soldiers. You will be forced into situations where you must elevate. You have to sink or swim. That's the mentality you want to have wherever I have to sink or swim, no matter where I'm at. There is no place of complacency. There is no place to be laxed. Yeah, man, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want to discuss, what you want me to break down. It's the Date Master.